Welcome back to Comic Shop Talk on the Late Night Collectors community, everyone. I'm your host, Nico, and join with me today, as always, is my co-host, Chris.
Hey, how's it going?
Well, not as always, I should mention, is the very occasional get-together in person here, guys. We're recording here together for this one, so these are always fun, get together, have a few beers and whatnot, and talk some comics, so that's always good. Nice to see you in the flesh, Chris.
That's it. Nice to be here in the studio.
In the studio, yeah.
Hope I don't trash it or anything.
Hey, listen, if it's anything like the battle, we might have to move some of those action figures. For all you guys, though, that may not know Chris from over at the Late Night Chat Network, you can also see him making some appearances occasionally over there. Of course, that is our sister site where we kind of originated this show. It's Late Night Chat Network, so definitely check us out on YouTube, on our YouTube page there, if you've never seen those videos. But yeah, we're going to talk about comics today, and we're going to be talking about the new comics that came out for the week of January 18th. And yes, this is Comic Shop Talk episode 60, everybody. 60, so that's woo-hoo. yeah, we're moving on up to the east side. Nice. New comics for the week of January 18th is what we're going to be talking about this week here today. A lot of things to talk about here today, and this is actually one of the more fun-filled episodes where me and Chris almost read every single book. There's not many different books we've read from one another here today, so you're going to hear a lot of our thoughts on a lot of these books here today. And if this is your first time checking it out, make sure you subscribe to the channel. This is Comic Shop Talk. This is a show where we release this weekly. We talk about the new weekly release comic books here. We talk about sometimes some comic book news, things of interest to us. And then, we also sometimes, like today, we'll be getting into the solicitations of upcoming books that are going to be coming out. Let you guys know what we may be interested in picking up. And we also let you know what we're going to end up picking up or reading week to week, things we're interested in. So yeah, definitely check it out, guys. And be forewarned, spoiler warning. This is your spoiler warning here. We do show off the art from these books. We do kind of give you guys like an idea of what happened. And sometimes we have to spoil some of the things that happen in them. We try our best to stay away from big spoilers, but we're here to talk about the books and give you our reviews on them. So sometimes, that happens. So be forewarned. I do update the show notes for you guys to kind of help navigate through the episodes if you need to, but otherwise maybe make sure you read your books and then come back and check out the episode. They're always here in the playlist for you guys. All right, Chris, that all being said, though.
All right, without further ado, let's talk comics.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. Let's talk some comics. Here we go. It's been a while since we got it in person together for this show. Yeah, it has been a while, so this is good. We try to do these every so often, guys. So first up here today, we got Nightwing 100, everybody. Yeah, we both got the same cover here. Nightwing 100, first up on the docket here. This has been a great run, despite Chris not loving Nightwing. This has been a great run. I gotta say, it's been a great run thus far. But Chris, let me know your thoughts on this particular issue here.
Well, I don't know, a little bit hokey on I think maybe a lot of fan service in this one, which is great if you love Nightwing. Not so great if you don't, and I don't. So, but some big things do happen in here. There's some nice scenes with I did like when Superman and kind of Wonder Woman show up when they're trying to help out the situation, because I guess the big situation is there that the Bloodhaven prison, everybody kind of got released and mayhem ensued. And then, what's Nightwing going to do? He calls in his buddies, and I guess the big takeaway, well, there's a nice little gallery, I guess, of, I don't know, all these different Nightwings.
Different artists, really, that have worked on Nightwing, the series, ever since it first launched in the early 90s. Like, these are all artists that were on this book that have worked on Nightwing in the past. Like, for instance, this is the new 52 Nightwing costume and artists that worked on him at that time. So yeah, they, like you said, there was a lot of fan servicey stuff going on. So I can speak to this a little bit in the sense that these are all artists that were on this particular issue, all like 4 or 5 of them that were on this, including the current artist, Bruno Redondo, who have worked on this character in the past. So they kind of gave like little splash page moments too in a few pages throughout the book. So yeah, there was definitely, to your point, a lot of fan servicey moments in this issue. So if you're a fan of the character, you may have loved this. If you're just like lukewarm on the character, despite the book being very good, like Chris is, you might not get as much out of this, let's say, in that sense, if you don't know his history and that, or care about it as much, right?
Well, I can say I did enjoy the Nightwing run up to this so far, but it looks like things are really going to change from this issue onwards.
Yeah.
And we'll see how it goes. I guess I don't know if you want to talk about the big changes coming in here.
Yeah, we're going to show off some pages about it towards the end of this issue. So it seems like the Titans are going to be back in full force, and he's going to possibly be running them in place of the Justice League, which is possibly a really fucking big move and an interesting one in the DCU. Now, whether or not so they haven't made an official announcement as far as I'm concerned. Despite this issue coming out, maybe we're waiting for the new solicits at DC to come out to announce that because it hasn't been done as of yet. But do we know or do we feel, Chris, given this information, this scene in this issue, do you think the Titans are going to be temporarily replacing the Justice League as the go-to team in the DCU at this point? Because at the end of this issue,
that's what it seems
the Justice League seemed like they were stepping back. I mean, and they were kind of like, there's a great Sierra. I'll show you guys. I mean, listen, there was some great art in this book. And like I said, like if you were aware of some of the artists that worked over, like it was almost like a legacy issue in that sense. You got KGBs coming out of the pen and fucking attacking him in this issue.
Yeah.
You had your heartless guy running around, that's been the ongoing storyline in terms of villains at this point in time. The thing that kind of like got me with this issue, Chris, is that it said issue 100 on it. And was it big enough for an issue 100? At times, other than the fan servicey shit, not really. It just felt like a regular issue, which is fine. But I think that when you throw on I think like a 100 on an issue, you expect a lot more, I feel. And maybe we shouldn't be coming in always with those expectations, because this was a solid issue in my opinion. But the ending is kind of where the big kind of moments happen here. It's going to come up in the art here in a second. So Wonder Woman and Superman there, and he also hugs it out with Bruce over fucking I know you're not with that hokey shit, but they hugged it out over what's his name's grave there, Alfred, right? Which that's been drawn out over years at this point. So, okay, they hugged it out over that. But Superman and Wonder Woman are sitting there outside the Hall of Justice, which was the ex-Justice League headquarters, of course, that got fucking torn down during Dark Crisis. Of course, Nightwing being a big part of Dark Crisis. So I'm glad they tied this into this scene. But they're sitting there, you're like, why don't you sit down in the chair? He's like, there's literally just like one chair in the rubble. And then Superman etched out the Nightwing symbol on the fucking seat. And he's like, yeah, maybe I'll take a second to wait for that to cool down before I have a seat. He's like,
some funny
understandable. Moments. Yeah. So of course, great dialogue is always provided by Tom Taylor, but he basically says, like, in doing so, that he's like, what? So you want me to take over the Justice League, which everyone thought was the case. Even us from Dark Crisis were like, that's what they're kind of hinting at. We thought this whole time. And they're like, not necessarily. We're thinking bigger. And then by the end of the issue, yeah, there's the hug right there. There's the hug with him and Bruce. They hugged it out. I agree. That's not that's not a situation you necessarily want to see Batman in. I hear you. But anyways, it happened. Okay. But that being said, at the end of the issue, he basically premieres the Titans team in front of a Titans tower. And it seems like they could be taking over temporarily for the Justice League in this moment in time. So, like, who's going to launch that book, though? This is what I want. If they're going to relaunch a Teen Titans book with the original there's Cyborg with them instead of the Justice League again. Like, I'm interested in this. If they put a good team on this, Chris, I'm very there for it. I don't know about you.
Would it be a Teen Titan, or would it be a Titans book, or would it be a Justice League book with them as the Justice League? Because that's one thing I kind of can't get over, though.
Yeah,
is the Justice League. If they were gone, fine, but they're still there. What if some big crisis happens? Superman's not going to show up. Wonder Woman's not going to show up. No, they're still going to be there. Like, it seems so redundant that okay, we're going to let you be the leader until something happens, and then we're going to come in and freaking take over.
I think I'm interested either way, because I think this isn't something that's been done before. I think this is surprisingly seems like a new direction in terms of like, okay, maybe make them take the center stage for a while, because it's been a long time since we actually felt, I think, a Teen Titans book was very important in the DCU in terms of the comics, right? Like,
I'm a big fan of the Titans as the Titans, and if it's a Titans book, then just let it be a Titans book. And if they're going to be Justice League, then make them Justice League, I guess. And we'll see how it goes.
I'm just very interested to see if that is what they're going to do. Who's going to be writing it? If Taylor or something is behind this, Tom Taylor, I'm 100% in. 100% in if he's doing a Teen Titans book with Nightwing. Because I already love his Nightwing. If he's going to tell me he's going to be on a team book with him, whether the Justice League or the Titans, wherever the fuck they are, I'm there.
I think it's going to be Joe Blow and it's going to suck. But we'll see how it goes.
We'll see what happens. Yeah. And look at me. I got the spoiler warning scrolling across the screen like I didn't even notice. Spoiler warning. We're talking about Nightwing 100, everybody.
Yeah.
So what'd you give this one then?
I'm giving it a 3.5. Wasn't my favorite issue.
Ooh. Nah, I got to give it a 4, man. I like the fan servicey moments enough. I agree that for an issue 100, did it meet the mark as being like a quintessential issue of sorts? Not really, but I guess we'll see where this direction goes with the Teen Titans or the Justice League or whatever, where that goes, essentially where that's going to take. Because I'm interested in the way it ended for that matter. But other than that, it's just another decent issue, I think, in terms of the Nightwing run. It's nothing. I don't think it's 100, like, you know what I mean? Like material.
Well, I guess they have big things happening, but the big things aren't that grandiose.
Say. But they did get, like I said, they got some legacy type artists back that have drawn the character over the years. So if you guys are into that, if you're into the character, I can't see people that are really into Nightwing not enjoying this particular issue. It's just like, was it the best issue of the run? No. Absolutely not. So, you always expect a lot, I think, from an issue 100 in that sense, right? But anyways, all right, next up, Avengers Forever 13. And what part is this of the Avengers Assemble? Part 5.
Part 5.
Yeah. All right. So let's throw that up. I read this online. Yeah. Avengers Forever 15. Sorry, 13. What'd you think of this, Chris?
Well, I didn't think it was too bad. Everybody's taking their turns here. You get to see what these Avengers are all about. All these multiversal Avengers, and I think in one of the last issues they brought up the old man Logan Phoenix and a whole bunch of characters. So I thought it was pretty good. You had all those all the hammers that were floating out there, and you think, oh, these guys got it pretty much on lockdown. And then at the end of the issue, freaking the Masters of Evil come back with their own freaking multiversal I don't want to say baloney, but they're their own multiversal attack, let's say, and it seems to be pretty interesting. So I'm still excited how this is running, and it seems to be pretty fun.
I like this issue a lot. I think this is my favorite issue so far of the of this Avengers Assemble. Definitely. I love the thing because it really touched on a lot of things. I seen Jason Aaron already do somewhat in his Thor run, like the granddaughters of Thor that showed up in this issue. The whole thing about them going across the multiverse and collecting all the hammers of the fallen kind of Thors here, which is an awesome fucking visual and concept. For that reason alone, I'm like, this is really fucking cool. Like, again, we've talked about how he's bringing all these different versions of the Avengers together and taking all the toys out of the toy box and kind of throwing everything together the way he is. But I think a few issues into this, now you're seeing the things.
Things that can be happening.
Yeah, this was awesome. I love this issue. This is my favorite issue so far.
There's a few good panels where there's one of the multiversal Steves, and he's carrying a hammer, and he goes, "Hey, where'd you get that?" And he goes, "Well, I just heard this from calling to me."
And then the Phoenix Wolverine said, "Really?" to the Cap Wolverine. He's got the flag on his face, and he's just like, "What do you want?"
Yeah, what do you want? Yeah,
the Doom part was awesome.
Yeah, the response by the multiverses of evil.
Bro, the Doom above all. Come on now.
Freaking the Doom planet.
This was just exactly what I wanted from this event. Cool moments with cool characters that we've never seen before, just mashing everything together. And the sky's the limit. I really enjoyed this. I think this everything clicked with this issue for me.
Everything's coming together.
Yes, beautifully. Yeah, I had so much fun. And this. I'm going to show it right now. So, guys, spoilers. Once again, I gave you the spoiler warning to start. This is a big one. I mean, I guess looking at it now, I'm like, it should have been obvious. But the Avengers fucking Prime is no other than a Loki with the fucking Doctor Strange Dormammu, not Dormammu, I have Agamotto on his fucking head. Like, what is this now? Avenger Prime is a Loki? That's what he's like, well, of course, all universes have to have a Loki. And you know that's just going to cause a bunch of issues.
I just didn't like the call out that you need a Loki to bring the Avengers together.
Yeah,
I guess that's a call out from the MCU.
Yes,
they could have let that that moment alone is enough to be like freaking mind blowing.
I mean, just the visual, and they made no reference to it of him clearly with the Eye Agamotto, like the Doctor Strange kind of thing on his forehead, which I thought was pretty fucking cool. And exactly, like you didn't have to make reference to the multiversal Loki type thing that happens in the shows and the movies and everything else now, right? But
I guess they got to put it in
I
there.
guess, but that was still pretty cool.
Yeah.
I did not expect that.
No,
I thought that
neither.
was a good reveal at the end. This was a great issue. I like this issue a lot. This is my favorite out of all the Avengers issues.
And it makes reading all the other junk before come together and makes that stuff a little bit more valuable in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I've been off for it for a while. I read some issues here and there of Avengers Forever. Chris has kind of been giving us the updates on the show, so I've been following what he had to say about it. And but I gotta say, I jumped on with Avengers Assemble, and like this is the 5th issue into the event. This is where it, like I said, it all kind of clicked for me right here, and I'm really looking forward to what comes next. I'm in. So like, I've been reading this online, and it's been fun. It's been fun. Honestly, it's been fun. Yeah. So what'd you give this one?
I'll give this 3.75, closing it on a 4.
I'll give it a 4. I'll give it another 4 there. This was decent. I really liked it. So yeah. Next up, Chris, you got a Lazarus Planet, Assault on Krypton #1.
Oof, I just read this one online because I'm sort of interested in this Lazarus Planet stuff that's going on. Yeah, and this one, I don't know, man. I don't have much to say about this. This seems more like just ads for all the new runs that DC's coming out with all their super, I guess they're Kryptonians, I guess. So I thought it was a bit hokey and wasn't anywhere near as good as the Lazarus Planet, the first one that came out. And I'm not big on this whole Lazarus Planet one shots that are all coming out, but I'll probably end up reading them, but I definitely don't think I'll be buying them. I give this like a 3.5. There was like, I don't know, there's no standout moments in this. You know, everything is like at the end is, oh, check it out on, you know, whatever, John Kent, you know, Superboy of Tomorrow, see what happens. And
which is weird because I feel like they've already done setups for these series in the Action Comics issue you just talked about recently. So why are they tying this into Lazarus Planet of all things, right? It seems like a weird move.
Spending a lot of time pushing these series or these new new series that are coming. Why don't you just put them out already and let's see what's going on?
Yeah, fair. Okay. Next up we got Dark Web X-Men #3. Chris, it sucks you weren't you didn't read this in time for the recording.
I didn't. I forgot about this
one. But I will say, out of all 3 issues, and I sung the praises of the first 2, this was the weakest one because this was more of like, fun's over, time to wrap up the mini series. We got to kind of come to terms with the fact that we got to end these character stories here, and we got to come to some sort of resolution with them. And
is she giving birth in that freaking corner panel?
Well, not her, but that was Jean Grey when she gave birth to so again, as similar to Chasm in this event, she is stuck on the fact that she doesn't have the memories of her son because Jean Grey gave birth to Cable and not her, essentially, is right. So that is kind of what's focused on in this issue. After the last one, she slapped the shit out of her at the end of the issue because she finally came to kind of face to face with her, Madeline Pryor, right? And she is the clone of Jean Grey. And I guess it's weird enough. I didn't actually make that connection prior till now that her and Chasm are actually in the same sense, like both mad about the same thing, that they don't have the memories of their other fucking clone selves. So I actually didn't make that connection prior to now, despite liking both storylines. So they kind of really drove that home in this issue. And I was like, okay, so that all makes sense now. And that's it. But in this issue, he finally kind of got confronted by Jean Grey. She, by the end of this issue, forced the memories that she missed out on into her head. Because she's like, I missed out on all these memories and you had them and blah, blah, blah. And that's why I hate you. And, you know, this and that. And she's like, oh, yeah, well, you can have them back. And she literally rips the memories out of her right here in this page here of like the childhood that she had with him and gave them to Madeline Pryor. And she's like, it doesn't matter because I know that those things happened and I contributed to that. And I'm sorry that this is what happened to you, but here you go. You can have these memories. and she gives it to her, and they kind of come to some sort of terms by the end of this. And then she basically, yells out to me, my X-Men, and she basically reunites with the X-Men people. And it seems like everything's hunky-dory by the end of this, quite frankly. It seems like they've all kind of come to some sort of understanding and came together for one another here towards the end. And even her and the other Summers brother, Havoc, they're able to basically say to each other that they're going to try to maybe not work things out where they're together again, but like they're going to
be nice to each other.
Exactly. So, and then it just kind of ends with all of them just standing there. So I'm interested to see where Madeline Pryor becomes part of the team here moving forward or not. I'm interested to see what book she lands in. It seems like because of the fact that there's no death and we're bringing everybody back, there's literal doubles of all these characters running around. Right? You have 2 Cables, you fucking got 2 Jean Greys, you have 2 Wolverine,
2 or 3,
Laura Kinneys, right? Running around.
Little kid. Is there a little kid Wolverine?
Well, that's Gabby, which is also based off of Laura Kinney. Yeah. So I mean, like, you got a bunch of them going on here. As long as they can find a place for all these people, I'm for it. I don't think it actually interferes with anything because these are all beloved characters by somebody, right? So I give this a 3.75. It was a decent issue. It was a great art as always throughout the whole miniseries. This is a solid miniseries in terms of dark web tie-ins, though. I think the first 2 issues my favorite book of the week. It was excellent. This was just like, okay, enough of the zaniness that's been leading up into this finale here, like the crazy shit that happened in the first 2 issues. We got to bring it home now.
Yeah, so that's to the meat of the story.
That's the only reason where I gave this a little bit less. But overall, the series is like a 4 out of 5, a 4.25 out of 5. Honestly, this was a great tie-in miniseries. If you guys have enjoyed Jerry Duggan's X-Men, who also wrote this, definitely check this out. I mean, you might have to have a little understanding of dark web, but not to the point where like it's not like a complex kind of like event, to be honest with you. So I think you can pick that up and enjoy on its own. It was a great miniseries. I really enjoyed it overall. So yeah, absolutely. Okay, next up we got Old Dog number 3. This was okay. I haven't been loving this series as much as I've wanted to, as I've said in previous issues. I think I have one more issue pre-ordered. I don't think I'm pre-ordering anything past this. I love the artist and writer of this book, Declan Shalvey. I think he's done some good things. This is like a guy who was like in a coma that became really old, like an old James Bond type mission type comic. And I don't know. I just don't like some of the scenarios that he's pulling off in these. Like this one is fairly basic. Like he went to like visit an old woman who became old, obviously, because he's been in a coma for I don't know how fucking long. When he came out of the coma, he went on missions again. He visited an old woman that was apparently an ex of his in Russia. They tracked her down. They killed a bunch of people that tried to stop them getting to her. And apparently the woman that he's been working with this whole time was his daughter, which I didn't actually latch onto in previous issues. I don't think I recalled that. So that's interesting. And he was never there for her as a father because he was in a coma for her most of his life. So there's some interesting aspects to this story so far. But anyways, they go to Russia. He tracks down this ex of his who's an old woman now. And he basically just takes her out because she has information on him that he was afraid that would eventually get out. And he has to kill her as a result for things that they've done in the past. And he felt like she was a leak or a danger to him and his future working with like the, whatever this James Bond, what is it? Not
MI6.
MI6, thank you, type thing that he's with now in this book. So yeah, I mean, Declan Shalvey, he was the writer and artist of this. The art is great. I have never no complaints with that. It just this story I think could just always be a lot better than it is. I give it a 3.5. I just have high expectations for it, and it's not being met personally, so it's okay. Next up, we got Strange number 10, Chris. The finale of Strange. What'd you think?
I think some big things happened in here too, like when they merged into whatever. I don't know if that character was ever given a name, but even in the beginning there, they get wiped out by that sentry. That zombie sentry or something, the Revenant, whatever they want to call him. And I thought it was pretty good, but I don't wish, but if this was labeled as a 10-issue miniseries, I don't think I would have bought it personally. I thought this was going to be a run of something, and I was, especially with all the lead up, the death of Doctor Strange that led this up, with its own, tie-ins and everything. So I feel kind of hoodwinked that way. That now that he's back and now it's over, it's like, wow, this wasn't even a series. But as for the content of the series, I thought it was good. The art here, I thought we had a bit of you know, especially in those first few pages, oof, they were a little rough with Clea there when she was kind of getting wiped out. I think we've referenced that before as
Yes.
the Wong face.
Yeah.
A lot of that going on
Some
in here.
wonky faces at times. Yeah.
But yeah, but otherwise I thought it was okay. What did you think?
Yeah, I did really like the moment of them coming together and merging as one, and they did just call themselves Strange, like that whole kind of mystical kind of combining of light and evil, like basically like so because Clea is like working on the side of right, and and it's kind of weird because they're playing polar opposites, because she is come from a demon kind of background in that sense for and like Doctor Strange does not, yet they both practice light and dark magic, and the fact that they've come together being life and death coming together as one is an interesting honestly experience in
because like that was the whole thing in the beginning, is that they couldn't even touch each other because they thought they'd end the world or something.
And this one where they feel like they're both doomed in the sense that they had to stare down the Sentry in battle, they by the end of that they kind of came together and started making out, and it's like no, it's true, they kind of came together and they kissed and then they fused together like a fucking Dragon Ball thing or something of some sort, and they became one with the multiple arms and the fucking mysticism and stuff like that. So I'm like, okay, this is kind of cool, these scenes, right? I did like that part of it. Other than that, I think as cool as this villain was, they didn't
have time to flesh him out.
Didn't get his moment. Exactly. I was like, right?
Because he is a pretty good villain, I think.
Yeah.
But like I say, because this was just last, they did it in 10 issues. If this was like a 50-issue series, who knows?
But Jed McKay has already been announced to be writing the new ongoing Doctor Strange now again, which I assume Clea is going to continue, because it seems like by the end of this, Clea, him, and Wong are going to be all together. And that was the way it was in the late 80s, early 90s for this series. So it's kind of like, it's almost like the resetting of what this series once was, with Clea involved. And especially now that she's in the movies, I don't think we're going to see the last of her, even though it might just not be called Strange. She's the main focus.
Yeah.
I think they're all going to be together now. So I'm going to continue reading this. Like, I'm a big Doctor Strange fan. I thought this was a solid effort. Jed McKay is a good writer, and I like the ending of this. I thought it ended on a nice note. They're together again, and he's alive, and as long as she's still part of the equation, I don't think this is going to be a waste of a series, because like, I think if they totally like, okay, see you later, then I'll be I might be
we'll see where it goes. I guess
the way they ended it seems like she's going to continue being part of the current status quo, though, along with him and Wong, and I'm here for that. I'm interested to see what happens with that, so we'll see. Are you going to be reading the new one, at least online?
I'll probably, definitely read the new one online. I don't know if I'll be buying it.
Okay.
Maybe unless they upgrade the artist there a bit, because there were some good scenes in here.
Yeah.
In the whole series. And I just got asked about this fusion stuff here. Was that a thing before this happened in Dragon Ball Z, or is this like an idea stolen from Dragon Ball Z?
I mean, like, if we're gonna go back a ways, Dragon Ball Z, like,
are they like the originators of this? It seems, because I don't remember hearing about any of these type of fusions before that.
I would agree with you, because I'm literally wearing a Dragon Ball Z shirt right now. When I was younger and I first seen Dragon Ball that first hit here in the 90s, even Dragon Ball Z for us when it got here was in the 90s. So you're talking about late 80s, early 90s, that was already done up in Japan. So I think any transformations like this kind of thing, even in Sailor Moon when they used to transform, like I think that is purely an anime kind of, I can't recall another thing that I've seen in my life. Well, listen, there's Transformers, which is also
like a cutscene like that.
Right.
Like, I'm trying to think, like, I remember back in the day on
Sailor Moon is a good example of the two, but it's Dragon Ball precedes it for sure.
Like, I remember I was playing, this is a game on Super Nintendo, the first one, I guess.
Yeah.
I think it was some wrestling game, and that had cutscenes in it, but it's the same idea. Like, once you're about to hit your big move, the screen would blow up, and then, you do the back head kick, you see him running around and pow. But, and, that kind of brings, the cutscenes there.
Yeah.
And, like with Dragon Ball Z, is where everybody gets that, that power level up, and now the fusion of characters, because we've seen this in the World's Finest with Batman and Superman kind
Thor,
of fusing.
Did it happen in Thor?
Yeah, I think Thor's been fusing with everybody.
Thor and that Hulk thing, isn't that? Didn't they?
Yeah, well, even before that, like Thor was fusing with like like being the Herald of Galactus.
He had a Super Saiyan moment in that too, as well.
Yeah,
when he
well,
transformed.
in the movies for sure.
Yeah,
It was like in Thor, it was in Captain Marvel, it was in Wonder Woman. They all freaking go Super Saiyan at the end.
But you're right. I always reference Dragon Ball for this type of shit. Like these, any fusion between two characters that be combined into one, I always reference.
Yeah, that's got to be from Dragon Ball. Like I don't remember hearing or reading about any of sort of thing like that.
That's the earliest thing that I recall, and that's why I always reference Dragon Ball when I say it. I didn't fucking even realize more than Dragon Ball sure when I said that, but yeah, absolutely. I mean, that I think that's.
Yeah, it just seems to be like a new tool out there for the comic book writers. Oh, I'll just put these guys together.
People like it.
Yeah,
people like
it is awesome. But now it seems to be played out too much, a little bit.
I mean, let's not forget in the 90s they did the Amalgam Universe, which was a combination of a bunch of different characters from Marvel and DC, which is kind of combining.
Yeah, but they weren't the two people coming
together.
They
weren't fusing together like they did in this issue with the Stranges. Yeah, no, I agree. Hey, listen. They could have just came out with a new issue. I know they're rebranding as Doctor Strange again, and they're coming out with Doctor Strange #1 with Jen McKay. They could have just called it The Stranges, and I would have picked it up. That would have been awesome.
Strange 11. I'd freaking buy it. I'd be keeping on buying the series, but
right?
No, I'm out. Now I'll just be reading online. Sorry, bums.
You guys lost
nice
Chris.
Covers though.
Lost Chris. All right. Next up, this is gonna be an interesting one. Punisher 9, everybody. Yeah, I got mine too. Punisher 9.
Oh man, alive.
Chris, tell me about Punisher 9, my friend.
Fuck, this issue could have been so good. But I don't know. Like so many good things happen in here, but the meat of the story is bad.
This opening scene alone was fucking awesome.
That was enough, right?
When I seen somebody in the shadows and his claws pop, I'm like, yes. I was like, Daredevil, Wolverine, Punisher.
And the hands, like, he's got history with them.
And then when you get to the end of the issue and you see the people fucking together there, I'm like, this cannot get any better. But if I could guess on what you're gonna say about this, it's the fucking flashback shit again, right? It's the flashback stuff. Yes. I agree with you. I'm like, enough of these fucking flashback stuff. I'm not enough of this.
This could have been such a great issue if it was half the pages, and I guess you can figure out which half the pages you can take away.
I didn't even put up, to your point, I did not put up any art from those scenes. No, I didn't. I did not put together any preview pages of those scenes because I felt it was not even important to the story in this issue. Half of this is awesome and half of it is not, and we've said that throughout this whole series. Yeah. I kind of have been, I don't feel like the last couple issues have been as bad because it's been more focused on him in terms of the war, not him as a kid, but they go through all of that in this. There's a whole page dedicated to like, remember when he was a kid and blah, 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 blah. The only thing I thought I really enjoyed that he showed some restraint on is, and I got really fucking worried for a second, Chris, is because they showed in the flashback of the hand speaking about him as a kid. They're like, oh, should we intervene and kill his family? And I was like, oh no, don't tell me they were behind that. She's like, no,
we gotta let this play out as it plays out.
I was like, I just thank God they didn't fucking make it so they were responsible for the death of his family.
Yeah, so basically,
because that just washes away the whole fucking character at that point. Like it's like, his whole existence is not what you thought it was.
Yeah, so now at least he is who he is, and they were just watching him this whole time.
And she said not doing anything. He will make his way there one way or another. They just believed in him. So I'm like, okay,
that is good.
That is good. You're right though. For a second there, that was a moment where I'm like, this is gonna be bad. Like I'm like, if they say that, I was ready to fucking like throw the book across the room when I read that. I was like, please don't fucking tell me that. And she was like, and then like you turn the page, she's like, no, we're not gonna do that. I was like, thank fucking God. Because that would be too far for me. Like I would be like, okay,
and I don't know. There's one thing that was going through a lot of the issues this week. There was a lot of freaking, I don't know what you want to call those dialogue in the boxes that wasn't really part of the
inner monologue.
Yeah, but it wasn't it wasn't an inner monologue. It was somebody else kind of talking their other story, because wasn't this most of his wife freaking talking about what's going on while the battle was happening? It wasn't an inner monologue of him while he's fighting.
Another character talking.
And I think it was in this. It was in I think it might have been in
Look
Strange.
at some of these pages.
Though, man. There's a lot of
there's some great moments in this.
Yeah, there's great moments, but there's no words to go with them because it's all this inner monologue of his wife freaking worried about being him being in love with War and she was the freaking mistress or something.
Kind of an interesting twist there at the end where she feels like she's like by his side through all this, like she's turned on by it. Like, I mean, they even go as far to say like there was a certain point, as fucking far gone as he was still having sex with his wife. They did tell you that in this issue. They're like, yeah, you know, he was a little off the rails there for a moment, but then all of a sudden he started banging his wife more. And like, I was just like, what is this? I just don't understand why you're focusing so much on it's just the weird darkness of him banging his zombie wife prior to this. And that I'm like, well, that's weird that they would bring that up again. Yeah, but like, she is that woman of the hand here, though. She's like the priestess or whatever towards. She's wearing like the garb, like the actual like cloak or whatever. And they like ascend here together after he kills fucking Ares. Like there was some good shit in this issue, man. I gotta say, like, so
I almost want to say it was almost too much of all the, not the story itself, but these little one-shot pages of other people that they were talking about.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like I said, that front page with just Wolverine being involved in the story now.
That was the best fucking intro. That was the best fucking intro to this issue.
That would have been enough. Then you got Captain America and
right here at the end.
Yeah, well, they got Captain America and
Black Widow, Doctor Strange, Wolverine, Moon Knight. Yeah, like this.
It's like, fuck, are you serious?
It's like the start and end caps of this issue. They're coming up to a crazy fucking climax of this series, though. That's the thing. I've never been so in love and frustrated with a book in my life. I swear to God. And we've said this from day one of this series. There's been great moments. I feel we've given an issue or two favorite of the week at a certain point, but like, it's just the mix between the two is just so, I know it's really weird how he's like playing that. I mean, I'm still in. I'm still in.
I'm still in. Like,
like, it's frustrating. It's frustrating. It is. I agree with you. I don't love those moments.
Like if this was 9 issues in, they could have cut out all that freaking flashback baloney. They could have put Wolverine in maybe in issue 3, put Black Cat and or not Black Cat, Captain America and Black Widow in maybe issue 4. You know, Moon Knight in 5, and you know this could be coming out in like never in 6, 7, and whenever they come together to fight them. Oof.
I still like the art in the book a lot, and I like a lot of what's going on, but I agree the flashbacks are just not really adding to. I really don't know because to your point, a lot of the shit, the dialogue of her talking about what happened back then, you could do that by not even giving us those moments, like in art. Why? Like you don't have to show us that. You could just really just tell us that that's what's happening in her head and just give us the present day type shit, because it's way more interesting than the other side of this story. Like it's ambitious. I like that he's actually going for it. He's trying to, I guess, come from the past and the present to kind of bring them both together by the end. I don't know. But it's not working, that part of the story for me. I haven't liked it since day one. As you know, hockey stuff was the worst shit I ever read for Punisher. I was like, what is this?
All of them were bad.
I don't know. What'd you give this? I'm so conflicted. I really liked a lot of shit in this issue, though. I'm going to tell you right now, I might still give it a good score.
Like I get half this issue of 4.75, another half of this issue at 2.
Oof.
Like that's how freaking up and down it is from one. Like that first page. That first page is a 5.
I agree with you there. I was so hyped up after reading that first page, and then they went into the past stuff.
Fucking kills you.
I'm gonna give it a 3.75.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I wanted to give it a 4, but out of 5. But I want to give it a 4, but I can't. But I'll go as close to that as I can based off of everything we just said here about like it's such a like love-hate kind of thing we got going on with this right now. But I still like it more than I hate it. But I just wish they would just drop that shit. Like I can really do without any of that stuff, honestly.
Like you know, the pacing, like what is this? 12 issues?
12 issues is supposed to be.
Like what? We're at 9. Like come on already. Let's get to this.
Yeah. All right. Next up, we got Immortal X-Men number 10.
Oof. Another big one.
I'm going to show okay, guys, I'm going to tell you right now, big spoiler coming at the end of this issue. I got to show this one off. I got to. This is a big fucking deal, whatever happens at the end of this issue, because if you guys have been reading the new X-Men status quo all the way from House of X Powers of 10, Hickman era, all the way up till now, even the cover somewhat gives it away. this mask in question that fucking he has been wearing this whole fucking time, you finally get to see maybe what's a little bit of what's cooking underneath it. All right. I don't know when that's happened because we have seen him without his mask prior to this, but I've always said there's a weird reason why he's wearing that fucking mask. I've said that since day one. I think we've said it on the show here before. All right. What do you think of this issue? Because there's some interesting things going on right now.
There are some,
yeah.
Like, there was some big stuff that happened in the last issue. That's where he killed Hope.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that they got her back so quickly. I was a lot of confused about exactly what the hell was going on.
Sure.
A lot of inner monologue in this one too, which at least this had a better payoff at the end. I'll say that much, but I'm not a big fan of all this baloney inner monologue. But the things that were going on, like, I'm not sure even what the hell was happening here.
They were resurrecting her, and they were resurrecting the other team members that he killed from the last issue. Because this is like their whole process of
like who was in there? Like there was Psych or
so Hope was somebody that they resurrected, as well as I think who else did they resurrect here? I think it was what's her name, Emma Frost, and there, and not Beast, but there was a couple other people that they resurrected.
Whoever they killed in the last issue.
Hold on, I have the issue right here. I don't have the art for it, but I believe it's I think it's Emma Frost. It's whoever they killed last issue, though, in one of those scenarios, like you said, the one that's stuck. They resurrected, I'll tell you right here, right now. Emma Frost, Xavier. They resurrected Xavier, so I'm not really sure where this happened, this thing is at the end. And one of the Araco guys that's on the council. So they killed the Araco guy, Emma Frost, and Xavier, as well as Hope that we see at the start of this, who's the first to get resurrected here. But Cable, her father, is the one that brings her in here, basically, at the start of this issue to the resurrection protocol. And they resurrect all those people that are part of the council, and they want revenge. They're like, okay, well, enough's enough. And they go against Sinister, and basically he gets eaten up by the Krakoa. In the pit. So that's what ends up happening here for the most part. But the ending is what really is worth talking about here. Yeah.
The only thing is, I think they gave away the ending a little bit too soon. They shouldn't have given it away, because I think in the last page or two beforehand, I could see it coming.
Interesting. Okay. But we are going into the Sins of Sinister event now, so it makes sense, right? Like, I mean,
they should, like, that could have been, like, when he did take that helmet off.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
It's interesting because there's been a theory on the internet forever, and I'm sure that's why they kind of tapped into this, because there's been a theory on the internet of why he's wearing this fucking bizarre helmet from the start of the Hickman kind of era. Honestly, everyone's had their theories. Why is he hiding his face? What the fuck's up with this weird helmet? And whether or not this happened right from the start, or this is just something new that happened.
Might as well just show it out here so we can talk about it.
Is.
Really, yeah. There. So basically, this Professor X is a
Sinister
clone.
Yes.
And now the question is, when did he freaking get cloned? Or when did he put that mask on?
So I'm not saying this has been the case the whole time, but it makes sense that
theoretically he could be right from the beginning. Like, you've never seen him without his mask off.
No, there has been a couple of times I think he's had his.
Or is this just something new from the time he killed him?
That's what I mean. And now that we're going to go into the Sins of Sinister, there could be a certain timeline that he pulled him out of and brought him to the current. You know what I mean? Like their timeline.
It seems to be everything has to happen after Judgment Day, because he doesn't want to go back. Like, every time he's trying to set the clock.
He even references Judgment Day.
Yeah, he goes, I don't want to go back to Judgment Day, because that was a freaking mess.
Liked how they tied this in, because this is Kieran Gillen, the guy who wrote Judgment Day, wrote this. So that's good that he at least makes reference to it.
I basically, it matters. These more clones, like, they're basically game saves.
Right.
It's like, I can't. I got a game save before Judgment Day, but fuck, I can't go through Judgment Day again.
Right. Yeah. So when did he insert him into play?
Yeah. So I think it's newer with this. I don't think he's been a Sinister the whole time.
I agree. But it's just so cool, because for me, there has always been theories rolling around of whether or not there's something going on under that helmet. So the fact that he actually used that to work into his storyline here, and the reveal of him taking off his helmet, because like you said, you've seen a couple of pages prior to this where it looks like he's about to, like, he's talking.
No, I think you can hear him talking. He's like,
what's gonna happen here?
It's like, no, is he gonna be Sinister?
I didn't think it was gonna be Sinister. I thought, like, who, I didn't actually even think that. I'm like, who's under the helmet? I thought maybe it was someone else posing as him.
Yeah.
Technically it is, but like, I mean, like, I didn't think it was going to go the Sinister route, but I guess I should have, because of the Sinister event coming up. This was an awesome ending. That's all I got to say.
Yeah.
I thought it was, this was a genuine shock. I was like, oh, okay, that's interesting. Okay. So yeah, good issue, man. Immortal X-Men's been pretty solid. I know there's been a couple of issues where we're just like, but for the most part, it's been a pretty good sub-series to X-Men. I really think so. And I don't know when the next issue is going to come out now, because it's going to turn into a Immortal X-Men during the Sins of Sinister.
Freaking make this.
I know it's not coming
11. What's
we're gonna look at some solicits here in a moment. Maybe it'll be back in the solicits. I guess we'll find out. But this is not the end, because it doesn't say the end at the end of it. So like, it may be just off the racks for the next 3 months, which I don't think is wise either, to be honest with you.
Just make Immortal, or the new one, Immortal X-Men 11. It doesn't have to be a fucking number 1.
I think that's what's going to be taking place of this, though, right?
Exactly.
Essentially.
But I don't know. They feel this power of the number 1 is so big.
Yeah. So what'd you give this one? I agree, but that's where they get their most sales.
I know that, but they got to freaking get off that train. That's not.
I agree.
So many number 1s now out there.
Yeah.
I think people want to freaking run of stuff.
No, you're right. All right, I agree. I also give it a 4. Yeah. Good
easy.
issue. Good issue.
Good stuff.
Yeah. Iron Man number 2. Bring that up here. There we go. Iron Man number 2.
Yeah, another phony baloney cover, but that's okay. It suckered me into buying, because I didn't really have this on my pull list. My LC, they kind of had it pulled for me anyways. I go, oh, what the heck? I want to see what's going on here. This cover seems to be pretty.
Yeah, I read the issue online.
Interesting. The cover, or the issue itself isn't so bad, but it has nothing to do with those two fighting. Like, I don't know, unless I missed something.
No.
Like, they had some verbal sparring, I guess. Maybe that's what that metaphorically is showing there. And I think they walked back the
drug thing.
Yeah.
The drug thing. Yeah.
I was kind of, weird how that happened in the first one. It just seemed to be so nonchalant that, I'm going to walk into a bar and get drunk. You figure that'd be like, a 500 or whatever.
Issue. I think they basically referenced the fact that he may have been drugged, as opposed to actively being a drunk in that first issue.
Poisoned under.
So in a way, that is good, because I kind of groaned when that happened in the first issue. As much as I'm like, okay,
well, I don't want to see it right now, really.
I'm like, oh, I guess we're doing this again. That was like my takeaway from the first issue. As much as I enjoyed the first issue, I think even I liked it more than you did, if I recall. But I was like, okay, this is familiar territory. There's nothing new here, but it's still solid. I still think that with issue 2, but I do like that they walked back the fact that, like, oh, he's not actually drinking again. He was drugged, and this guy's making it look like he's a fight. Yeah, this guy's got a hold of Tony Stark's life like no one other right now. Like, he is making a mess of his fucking life, right? So, like, I think it's interesting. In that aspect, I thought that was cool that they did that.
I think
nice swerve. A
little bit of foreshadowing there with Riri Williams. I think those rings are going to possess her.
Absolutely.
Just because, she kind of put that little lie out there where it's, oh, yeah, they're in a safe place on my fingers.
Yeah, they're already taking a hold of her in that sense. He warned her. I mean, listen, this guy's tangled with the Mandarin enough times at this point. And I was surprised, because I thought they weren't calling him the Mandarin anymore, but apparently he's back as the Mandarin. I thought that was like not PC for him, because he's not, I don't know, but I thought there was a discussion about that, so I don't care. But the living, like, what was his name? Living
Laser.
Living Laser.
He did have one good line in here. I'll say that much.
It's funny, because Riri was like, really, with a name like Living Laser, we got to be careful about him. He's like, he just paused. He's like, yes. I thought that was good. It was good. I like Jerry Duggan. I think he's a solid fucking writer. He's the writer of X-Men as well. This guy. I like a lot of Jerry Duggan stuff. So I enjoy this. I thought this was another solid installment in the series, but again, it's nothing I think new that he's bringing to the history of Iron Man. Yeah. No.
But it is an interesting story.
It's good.
I don't know if I'll be buying any more of these, but I'll probably be reading it, because I just want to see who's trying to get him.
I mean, this guy's taking out people in his life now. He's coming at he's already broke. He's coming at people like that are connected with him. He's coming at how he looks in the media. Like he's coming for old villains of his, that bringing them back to the forefront. It was solid. I liked it. I thought it was good. It was a good issue.
I did like when the Living Laser freaking zapped both of them, and then he's taken off. He goes, "Hey, if you find out who did this,
yes,
You let me know and I'll come and help you.
I laughed at that too. And he's like,
that was a good one.
oh, so you're just gonna like try to hurt us and then just run off and ask for a favor? Okay, yeah. That's what it was. Ask for a team up. I laughed out loud reading that. Yeah, you're right. I think
because you find out who did this, you call me.
That's great that you remember that, because that was one of my favorite moments in this issue. Yeah, it was good. So, what'd you think of this? What'd you give it?
It's if these comics were $1.99, I'd be buying them all day. but yeah, otherwise, I think it's a decent issue. Some decent art in there, nice covers. Don't matter what's going on, but I'll give it 3.75.
Same. I would also give it 3.75. Yeah. It's solid though. I think if you like Iron Man, I think it's worth checking out for sure. All right, next up we got Batman Superman World's Finest number 11. Bring this up here for you guys. Do I have the art for this? There we go. Yeah, what'd you think of this?
Yeah, I just read this one online. I think I've dropped this.
You did.
World's Finest stuff. But it's still a decent story, I guess you get a little bit more of what happened to the Boy Thunder. Some great art in here. Like you can't complain about that.
No.
And I don't know, I guess there's some big things, they're really playing with this Mangog, or I guess that leads into Kingdom Come.
Yeah.
But I know I'm still finding the story sort of a little bit on the lacking side.
It took me a while, but I think I'm finally with you in that sense. Like, I don't know if it's because he's going for more of an old school fucking tone to this book or what it is, because like I said, like you said, the art is excellent. And I think Mark Waid is writing an interesting story, but it's kind of like getting to a very middling point for me this series. And I hate to say that, but I think I feel like I expect so much more, because this is the Batman Superman book, right? Like, and it might just be because of this current storyline, because I think we both loved the first storyline, which had the Devil Neza in it. I thought that was pretty crazy and all over the place. And then after that, they kind of had a couple of one shots, which were okay. But this current storyline with this like sidekick, you know what though? What I did like about this issue was it was kind of a dark turn for Superman, where he's like, okay, I know what I gotta do now. I promised you I would do this. And then he's just basically gonna banish this kid and take away his powers.
That's crazy.
I'm like, that's kind of not Superman. Like, I didn't see him doing that. Like, I was like, whoa, that's kind of extreme. Don't you think? Like, even the kid was like, what? because basically the kid could not control his powers, and he was kind of almost going over to the dark side, let's say, if you're going to reference it to Star Wars in that sense. He couldn't control it, and he was becoming a bad guy.
He's not becoming a bad guy. Like, he was going to kill the Joker, which
like, it's the Joker though.
50% of people said, hey, if you kill the Joker now,
we're not going to
save him for 10 years of all these freaking monster plans that end up killing half the city.
You'd be doing the only thing that Batman never wants to do, but everyone thinks he should.
But he should have done it the first time he met him.
Who could fucking get pushed to that extent and actually not kill this?
Because when you read all these Joker stories, it's not like the Joker's never killed anybody since, let's say, since the first time Batman encountered him.
Absolutely.
No, he's wiped out half the city 2-3 times.
Yeah.
And that's killing millions or thousands of people.
Thousands for sure. Yeah.
And you don't go, I can't kill him because, hey, I don't kill people. Like, come on.
Right. So I think that all tracks. That all makes sense. But I think when you get to the point where his punishment, because they're like, we can't deal with you anymore, Superman basically just takes him to a part of his fortress of solitude,
Superman 2 cave.
Yeah, and then he's just gonna take away his powers, and the kid's like, no, don't do this. What do you? And then he comes to some sort of understanding as he's phasing out because of some sort of malfunction there, that he's just like, okay, well, listen, you guys tried, and I'll be on my way, and hopefully I land.
Yeah, it was nice to meet you.
Yeah, and then I don't know. I think this issue, in a way, is probably one of the better issues of this whole storyline, because I'm like, okay, I actually understand where these people are coming from now. But the Superman swerve with him just being like, okay, well, Bruce is like, you know what you have to do now.
Yeah,
and he's just
he doesn't tell him he's going to do it. He's like, hey, why don't you go stand in that closet there for a second? Hey, I got it. Don't worry, I got it. Yeah. We put an ice cream on the floor or something.
Yeah, and then he runs into Gog here, which is another one of those not new gods, old gods, or whatever the fuck they are.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll see what ends up happening with this, but they're going into some weird kind of avenues with this.
Yeah, well, I think they're just going to leave this story now, and that becomes Kingdom Come or something. That's the Kingdom Come world, and
I mean, Mark Waid wrote all that, so it's interesting that he wants to revisit it like 20 years later or whatever after he's already written that story. I don't know if it's gonna do him any good revisiting that stuff
Especially,
or
so
not.
it's such a great
Right?
story. You should just
That's
freaking
what I
leave it
mean.
alone. No, you don't need to mess around with
That's
that.
what I mean. But I gotta say, like, I am at the point where I'm like, it's just good enough that I haven't dropped it yet, but I also feel like I could at some point.
I
if
need
it
a new
kinda-
arc, for
Yes,
sure.
exactly. I'm on the edge right now in terms of dropping the book. So we'll see. So what'd you give this one?
I'll give it a 3.5. Like I say, it wasn't
I'll give it a 3.75, I guess. But yeah, I'm almost at a 3.5 out of 5 for that as well. Just because there is certain things I'll give it that for the art. The art, Dan Mora is great, the artist on this book. So it's really hard to like. I'm still enjoying reading it, but it could be so much better. I feel like, and it started out that good, like, so I think it's just gone off. It's just, this current storyline is not that interesting, I think, comparison, right? So Hulk 11, talking about not as interesting as it could be.
great cover though.
Yeah, great cover. So what'd you give the? No, go ahead. What do you think of this one?
Fuck, what a pile.
Yeah, it's kind of weak. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I don't know if they're just filling in and like they're just filling in issues until the end.
This is no Kate's right now.
Yeah,
this is no Kate's. This is all the artist Ryan Otley writing and drawing it. This is the first issue, I think, where that's just been all him.
But I think he's got nowhere to go. Like,
yeah,
he just got dumped.
It wasn't horrible. It just was not.
Fun,
yeah, it's just like, what kind of, this story is pointless. It seems like, yeah. Like, what is this? They're playing fucking baseball. Like, what is it? Like,
especially when you know the series is over already.
Yeah,
and they just can't. They couldn't cancel it at 10 and just say drop it wherever it was. They said, hey,
yeah,
you got 2 issues. Nothing can happen. What are you gonna do? Okay, I'm gonna have them play games, and crazy games that don't matter.
Yeah,
and that's it. There's some nice interchanges there. When they're they're in the spaceship Hulk, and you got Bruce Banner talking to himself in there. Some nice funny stuff.
Art's great.
It's nice to see him, kind of Hulk out a bit.
He's a great artist for the Hulk, right, Otley? I feel like I like that. So,
but the story is already over, and it's already been announced. They're going to take a break from this.
Yeah,
and who knows where it's going to end? They should have just ended it here at 11. And once again, once I buy a Hulk, I want to freaking get a run, this turns into whatever.
We got 3 more issues to go with Ryan Otley as the writer and artist of this series, up to 14, I believe he said he's on. So,
and it seems to be handcuffed, and he can't really do anything.
Yeah, he kind of was left in that position of Donny Cates leaving, and even though he might be playing out some of his ideas, and it wasn't written badly, I feel like, but it's just like, again, if these are just some of his sparse ideas, this isn't much of a story at this point. And it was.
Yeah, like I know, is that the Titan at the end there or something? Because supposedly the Titan's supposed to show up, and I think
no,
that's gonna tie things
not
up.
this issue, but he is showing up in the future issues. Yeah, so I don't know. He's on this Hulk planet. Apparently, the Hulks were all bigger than he was. Even on this planet, they were kind of doubtful of his power. And he shows them up because he plays some weird baseball fucking game tournament with them, and
and they're with those multiversal, whatever, those protectors.
People from issue 2 or whatever is wrapped back into the fucking story here, and whatever. I mean, it's not.
That's it. Whatever.
What a weird fucking aside to the main story.
It's a fun read online.
This used to be a weird, interesting story. Now it's got turned into just filler. It seems like, right? I don't know. So what'd you give this one?
3.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I'm with you. No, I'm with you. I was going to give it maybe a 3.25, but you're right. I just was not interested in this issue. Yeah, this was a 3 for sure. Speaking of 3s, Venom number 15. You might like it more than me. I'll say this. I just want to say, I want to get out in front of your comments about this because you're a regular reader of this. I just want to say this. This is one of the worst dark web fucking tie-in issues I've come across. This has nothing to do with dark web other than the fucking ending when Miss Marvel showed up. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is for the regular readers of this book, and that's okay because the regular readers of the book, maybe you'll be rewarded and you will say otherwise. But for me coming in and just reading this issue because this is dark web, this was like, I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? I don't know. These guys are fighting. Like, I have a somewhat of an understanding because Chris talks about it, but this was a wash for me, this issue, personally.
Yeah, like Venom shouldn't have been part of Dark Web to begin with.
Yeah, this is ridiculous.
This, I don't know how it freaking gets in here. I don't know what the hell happened to him. Now he's turned into Bedlam. And what Dylan is now the Chain Breakers. It's back to its regular crazy baloney. which I don't know. I guess that's good compared to the issue before where it was like, you know, just 90s
Yeah, Venom.
90s Venom.
Yeah.
And, you know, maybe this is how they're going to transition, like, because all these characters, Bedlam was out there before where Dylan was, or no, Eddie Brock was fighting him. But I guess the big thing is now that, well, yeah, what's that?
Red Goblin
Normie?
shows up. Yeah, Red
Is
Goblin shows
that's
up.
not a first appearance for the Red
No,
Goblin,
no,
as
he's
Carnage. He's
no,
been
he
around before like that.
yeah, well as Carnage. Yeah, this actually might be the first appearance as him as a mix because prior to this, I mean, that might be a first appearance this issue, and that I didn't actually consider that, but yeah, I think this might be the first time seeing this amalgamation of the Red Goblin as a Carnage creature because previous to this, he came in at the end of the Dan Slott run as Red Goblin, Normie. So yeah, maybe this is the first time. I don't know. Maybe it happened somewhere else. I don't feel I've ever seen it before though. No, me personally.
I know. I just feel this whole series has been, you know, trying to put out all these first appearances of characters,
Yeah.
and that's what's trying to sell the numbers. Like, it's not being sold on story.
Yeah,
It's being sold on, oh, this is a new character here. You know, this could be the new freaking big person. And after 15 issues, enough already. There might be like freaking 50 new characters already introduced here.
I will say this much, and I did read this issue, but even putting the art together for a lot of this series so far, I find that a lot of this series is fucking just glamour shots, splash pages of fucking big bodied Venom creatures punching each other with some inner monologuing going on. And I'm just like, it seems like there should be a lot more depth to the storyline that they're telling, but because they're talking about like, you know, shit that's more cerebral. Like there's like things where they're like going inside like people's heads and dimensions and shit like that. In previous, it seems like shit like that's going on. Like it should be much deeper than it is, but it feels very surface level to me. A lot of this shit, it's just a bunch of guys fucking punching each other, and I'm just like, what, you know? And listen, the Venom, maybe that's a lot of fans of Venom. Maybe that's what they're looking for. I don't know, but like as a dark web fucking tie-in issue, this failed on so many levels. I can't even tell you because I'm like, has everything to do with the ongoing series and nothing to do with dark web. This issue, like I was like, what? He was barely in this. The fucking 90s Venom, like it was the other Venom, right? This is the kid.
Well, Bedlam turned into, or the 90s Venom turned into Bedlam because I think in one of the last issues.
See, I'm so confused.
I think the X-Men, when he was fighting the X-Men, they freaking they zapped him so he was alone. It was just basically
right.
So then he turned into Bedlam, and now he's looking for Venom. Then he runs into Venom. And then he was, oh, that's my Venom. That's me in there.
Right.
Then,
see, even this conversation is ridiculous.
But Dylan now, he's like, I
yeah.
guess they call him the chain breaker. I don't know if that was somebody from before.
No, I don't
When
think
he
so.
stabs you, he'll remove you from the hive. So that's his plan to save Eddie Brock.
Right.
Is to,
yeah, it's a mess.
Like freaking everybody's a King in Black. Everybody's freaking Eddie Brock, and I don't know, man.
Everyone's a Venom.
It's getting crazy.
Like, what'd you give this then?
Yeah. Well, I'm happy that they're back to the craziness.
Yeah,
but the craziness wasn't all that great to begin with.
Yeah,
so I'll give it a 3.5.
I'm gonna give it a 3, just because I am not as tuned into what's happening in the main series for this like I don't read this regularly. I just think it failed as a tie-in, so that's why
it fails as an issue. Personally, this whole thing fails as a series. We're 15 issues in.
You're still reading it.
I've been hoping for so long. I keep on getting sucked in. Oh, there's new guys coming in. Oh, this one here.
All right.
this could be the new freaking, you know, I was in there I got hooked up in the Venom, like, you know, it's for appearance.
Sure.
All right, well, maybe I'll get another freaking big issue. But no, there's freaking already 50 new characters and they all stink.
Jeez. All right. Nightclub number 2. The only $1.99 comic may be worthwhile checking out on the stands these days, if there is even any $1.99 comics. Yeah. I don't think there is. So there you go, guys.
That's worth $1.99. I'll say that much.
Absolutely. So what do you think of this?
I think it's decent. I can see how a lot of people can think that these are just pitches for the new Netflix show. It seems it would be a good new Netflix show. It has all the right criteria.
Sure.
You know, not much happens in this one here. There's no epiphanies. I guess it seems they're stuck on the island. That's about all I get out of this one. And he turns his friends into vampires too. And I don't know how they wear the mask, and that means they can be out in the sun because that protects their skin.
The lucha fucking mask.
Yeah, the lucha libre. What, fuck, don't their eyeballs burn out or something? But
all right.
Hey, you know, if that's the rules they want to have, fine.
It's the rules of this world, apparently.
Yeah, and that's I'll still read it on for $1.99. You can't go wrong. I think the art's decent.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I didn't love the art on the first issue, but I said by the end of it, I think I did enjoy it. Going into this issue, I did enjoy it. It grew on me, and it's a fun story. Like I said, some of Mark Miller's ideas are very surface level in that sense, but he always has great artists. I feel like working with him, and they're fun books. And even if you kind of are just along for the ride, they don't last long. They can be 4 or 5 issues, and then you're in and you're out. So I'm always here for that. So I'll continue reading this.
Yeah, I think there's got to be a bigger story at play. Like, the person that turned him into vampires, he's got to be up to something.
Well, that's the thing. I agree with you that you didn't hear, other than him being mentioned this issue, you didn't see him at all. He hasn't popped back up in their lives, but of course he's not just some good guy that just turns people into vampires. He has aspirations for these fucking people to help him, right? So I'm sure.
And you can't just let him turn your friends into vampires. Like freaking everybody be vampires sooner or later.
I do like the realism of course, the people like these nerds are going to fucking go against the bullies that bullied them this whole time. Now that they have these powers. And of course, this kid doesn't want to be left alone when his 2 best friends in the whole entire world are going to become vampires and he's left out. Of course, he's like, okay, make me a vampire too. So like, it does ring true to a lot of things I think that we can relate to, like in real life, right? Exactly.
I don't know if it's Netflix where they might be Amazon Prime or
Hulu
or
he's got to deal with Netflix, so it's going to end up there if he gets it turned into a show.
They'll turn it into a show. I know if Netflix is buying it, they'll sell that to Hulu.
Here, hold on. Does it show it on the back of this issue? Hold on, wait here. Let's see this. No, it doesn't. I'm surprised. Usually these issues have the Netflix branded all over it.
Don't worry, it's still the Nemesis there.
Nemesis is on the back though. I'm surprised. I don't see any Netflix on here. Mark Miller, man, dropping the ball. Or Netflix is. Usually there's Netflix all over your comics in the back.
But supposedly there's a big Miller world coming.
The one that's in the back there, that one's gonna be interesting. This one here, I'll show you guys right here. Where is, I don't even know what that is. Stops. Oh, that's his daughter's doing comics now. This one here, Ambassadors. This one's apparently going to be a big deal because this is him. Every issue is going to be a different superstar artist that's going to be doing the art on it, and he wants to do superheroes around the world because he thinks that there is an opportunity to link in his Netflix fans around the world into a actual storyline of having different diverse characters that are superheroes. So I guess we'll see. I like his stuff, man. I'm a fan of it.
Supposedly he's putting all his comics. He's going to get them all to cross over somehow.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think that's the Ambassadors. I think is the start of that. That's what they've been hinting at. That's I think.
I don't even know what other comics he has, basically.
I there is his whole comic stuff is called Miller World.
Yeah, like I don't know who's in
Kick-Ass is his as well. Kick-Ass. Jupiter's Legacy, which was a TV show which bombed. They fucking did very badly, but I watched it and I love the comic. All kinds of people. He has a whole bunch of different characters in his universe that he could essentially set up in some sort of crossover. So I'm here for it if that happens, man. So let's see.
He's got some tentpoles in there for sure.
Yeah. All right. So that's gonna do it for the comics we're gonna talk about this week, guys. Let's get into some solicits over here for Marvel. All right, let's see. Marvel, what is this? April 2023. So these solicits just dropped prior to the recording. So I guess we'll probably DC and the others might be out by next week. So we'll review those at that time. But shout out to comicreleases.com. These just came up prior to the actual recording here today, these solicits. So that's usually where we show them from, and they're usually pretty good about putting that together. So let's take a look here, guys. Okay, here we go. So this is comicreleases.com.
It's only one part this month.
Yeah, just one part. So this is the Marvel 2023 solicitations for this month. Is it working on your end? You can see it? Okay, there we go. Okay. So because I only got this solicitation screen up now for me. So here we go. So this is the Marvel April 2023 solicitations. So we'll go past the collected edition guys because we only talk about, the weekly comics here. But as always, check out comicreleases.com. They do a pretty good job and are up to date usually on the release dates for these things. So, that's where we always get our information. Definitely check it out. All right. So that's this. Let's go past all the trades. Okay, here we go. So here we're at the single issues. Oof. Oh, there we go. Planet of the Apes number 1.
I love Planet of the Apes, but I'm passing on this baloney.
Yeah, I don't think I'll be picking this up.
That's Caesar? Oh my God. Does he have superpowers? Yeah, pass.
Yeah, no, I think I'm good on this too. Good creative team though. Dave Wachter and David F. Walker.
Fuck them. Put them on a good comic.
Maybe I'll read this online. We'll see.
Not even.
Probably not
They're
though.
wasting
I
their
agree with
time
you.
fucking Planet
Wow, a
Apes.
new restart of Guardians of the Galaxy #1. We got Colin Kelly and Jackson Lansing and artist Kev Walker on this one. Kev Walker, I'm a big fan of. The writers are okay. I've liked some stuff they've done, but I'm not a
I know. I may have to, maybe read it online. The movie is great. The comic is never good.
Oh, there you go. The Alex Ross covers are continuing.
Looks like I'm buying one.
Why is this on Guardians of the Galaxy? Is this a mistake?
Well, they freaking know.
Timeless Doctor Doom Virgin sketch variant covered by Alex. Wow, they're really doing a favor to fucking Guardians of the Galaxy by making an Alex Ross variant cover. I'm gonna just say that unless he shows up in this issue, where I guarantee you he's not going to. Yeah.
I'm buying it though now. Thank you.
Oh, interesting. Okay, that's interesting. Rocket Raccoon Marvel Tales #1. I think that's a reprint. Yeah, Bill Mantlo. That's a creator of him. Then you got Adam Warlock's Strange Tales 178 Fast Mail edition. That's also a reprint of Jim Starlin's creation of the character. That's his first appearance, I believe. Warlock Rebirth. Ooh, Ron Mars and Ron Lim, who worked during the Marvel Cosmic era. I don't know if I don't
burned on the stupid Silver Surfer stuff.
If I don't pick this up, I might read this online.
Yeah, I'm gonna get the Howard Duck cover. No.
I like them for the Marvel Cosmic stuff, so I might be on board for that. A lot of Marvel Cosmic stuff here. Is there a movie coming out soon?
Yeah, but it's still not in the new stuff. It's all back in the day, kind of new stories we
very true, very true. Guardians of the Galaxy, Bane of Blastar #1. This is also a reprint. There you go. Yeah, fucking Ralph Macchio right in this. I think this is Ralph Macchio.
The actual Karate Kid?
No. Okay. No. He just has the same name. Alien #1. They're relaunching it, apparently. Declan Shalvey, who I talked about an old doc tonight, writing it. I didn't even know he's going to write that. Andrea Brocardo on art. I don't know who that is, but okay. Relaunching Alien. I know they're relaunching Predator, so there you go. Storm and the Brotherhood of Mutants #3. No, pass. So nothing so far, guys, if you're keeping up. Okay, here we go. Sins of Sinister Dominion #1. Yes. Ooh. This is a one-shot. Looks like this might be the end of Sins of Sinister right here. So
that's
yeah,
nice cover, and there's freaking that's not too bad.
The either. Apocalypse one. I like this one, to be honest with you.
I do like the I don't want to buy two of these freaking crappy comics.
So this looks like to be the end probably of or another chapter in the event, because then we got Immortal X-Men #3, which I'm also going to be buying. Yep. So that's also by Kieran Gillen. Okay.
Oof. I might buy the second cover.
Nightcrawlers #3. No.
I'll be reading it, no. Probably not. Ooh.
Oh, look at this, guys. Avengers Assemble Omega. So we're not going to find out this month who the team is, but I guarantee we're going to find out before the next solicits. That means this is the end of Jason Aaron's run on the Avengers for the last few years. Avengers Assemble Omega. Oh, I'll be reading this. Look at this one, though. That's kind of cool.
That is cool.
Yeah.
That's Alex. If Galactus shows up at the end of this,
yeah, that'd be a game changer, because he's been off the playing field for some time.
I doubt he's gonna show up, but
you know that they've been using his husk as the fucking Avengers base, right? Like that's kind of they've been using Celestial.
Yeah, but there's something with
his dead body was somewhere. Yeah, they were using it at some point. I don't even know what this current status quo is of him, to be honest. I forgot. Then you got Avengers War Across Time, another current comic that's trying to be like the old stuff here with the old creative team here. Yeah, Avengers Beyond #2. No. Hellcat #2. No. Cosmic Ghost Rider #2. No. Doctor Strange #2. I'm picking this up. I am.
No. Yes. I might read it online.
You might read it online.
See what's going on.
Nice covers. Got even nice cover. Yeah, even that one. Man, oh no, this is Lee Garbett. Or no, this is Alex Ross. Jeez, he is killing it on the fucking covers lately. What's going on here with all these covers? Spider-Gwen, Shadow Clones #2. No. Venom, Lethal Protector #2. No. A lot of these old series that are trying to act like new old series. Hallows Eve #2. Are you checking this out or what?
Maybe.
Oh, Werewolf by Night.
Not fucking making it better.
That looks like him, anyways. It doesn't say here in this. It doesn't say, but it looks like him. It looks like him. Red Goblin #3. No.
Sandman, not too bad.
I like Sandman.
Alex Ross, Sandman.
Yeah, that's pretty good, man. I do like those covers.
Good.
Amazing Spider-Man #23. Yes. And I'm going to be picking up this
Scotty
cover.
Young? No.
That's not
a nice
Scotty
one,
Young.
though.
That is
No,
a good
no,
one.
I thought so in the thumbnail.
No, that's Ramita, I think, right here. It's Chris Pachalo, is it? Actually, I like this one too.
It's not too bad.
Yeah.
I like having a run of 8 covers. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I hear you. Amazing Spider-Man number
Oof.
24. Yes to both these for us. We're both picking these up. Ooh,
Yeah.
look at this.
No.
That's a good one.
He does a good old man, that freaking
I like these covers, man. I like these. I'm in on these. I like the Ramita covers. And then the conclusion of the Mary Jane Black Cat. Yes. Yeah.
There's
Picking
only
this
one
up.
cover.
That's
Come on.
it. Surprised. They ran out of steam towards the end, apparently. Miles Morales. Ooh. Nah, not bad. Not bad. That one's okay. But the other ones are better.
That's good character.
Are you continuing?
I
with
might
this?
continue reading.
Yeah.
It's not bad. Like freaking the art in there is awesome, and it's not a bad series.
Yeah.
You know, I've never been a big Miles Morales person.
I like him. Yeah.
If you like him, I think that's something
I might have to check out online. That's what I mean. I might have to catch up with you because I
read a bit of the Miles Morales before this. It was kind of hokey. This stuff's on board.
Not the Bendis stuff though. I assume.
I don't know. Like
the series they came before this one.
Where he was about to go into the multiverse or something.
I think it's the Salamine Ahmed.
Yeah, it was right before all these.
Saladin Ahmed.
Right before the what ifs.
Okay.
With what's his name?
Carnage number 12.
No, but let's see if it's Hella. Hella maybe.
Oh, that's pretty awesome, man. Venom 18. Are you sticking with this? No, maybe.
Wow.
You like this one?
I don't like that one, but I still like those Venom covers.
Yeah, you like them. Spider-Man number 7. You sticking with this too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dumb fucking shit plays out.
Marvel's Voice of Spider-Verse? No.
Is it still part of the same freaking arc?
Yes.
Looks like
it looks like. And the end of the Spider-Verse is here. Okay.
Fucking 7. What's that?
And now all of the Spider-Verse ends. Is it actually going to end is my question, though. If it does, I might revisit it. So, I don't know. Marvel's Voice of Spider-Verse 1, no. I Am Iron Man, no. Rogue and Gambit, no. Betsy Braddock, Captain Britain, no. Bishop, War College, no. New Mutants, whatever this is, Lethal Legion, no. The Excellent. Oh, it's coming back. Yeah, I'll be reading this online at the very least. Yeah, I will be reading this online at the very least. I do like this book. X-Force 39, no. I want to like that book though, man. Same with Wolverine. I heard it's been great. You've been saying it's been good lately.
Been reading some Wolverine.
You're not the only one that tells like that's a sick cover though. You're not the only one that's told me it's good right now though. I do want to check it out, but I don't know. Yeah. Clone Saga for Logan. What? Beast's last-ditch effort to save mutantdom involves a veritable Clone Saga for Logan. Which Wolverine will be left standing? Weapons of the X Part 2. This sounds pretty fucking good, actually. I might have to read this online, this arc, because that looks interesting. X-23, Deadly Regenesis, no. X-Men 21, absolutely. Yeah. That's been great. Broods, all about the Broods now. Lord of the Brood, the conclusion. Okay.
They're really stretching this Brood stuff out.
A couple months. That's not too bad. Yeah, Captain Marvel, this is part 6, and this is the conclusion in X-Men. I might have to read these Captain Marvel issues because it's going to be part of X-Men, right? So online at the very least. X-Men number 1, Fast Meal, no. X-Men 91, Fast Meal, no. The Jim Lee one, of course. Miracle Man, Marvel Tales 1, no. Captain America, Son of Liberty, 11. So many reprints. I don't know. No, we're not reading that. Cold War Alpha, no. Looks like there's an event going on with this, though. Captain America, Symbol of Truth, no. Cold War, yeah. The whole event here, we're not reading. Silver Surfer, Ghost Light. Sorry, no.
Nope.
I'm reading this. Clobbering Time. This looks like a lot of fun. I'm in. I love the artist. It looks like it's going to be wacky. I'm in. Clobbering Time number 2. I'm picking this up. Fantastic Four number 6. Maybe reading it online depending on where it goes in the next issue. Like I've said, I want to like this book, but it's been leaving me cold so far. So
I don't know who the hell that is, but
that's a Nihilus.
Yeah.
He's part of the Negative Zone. No?
It's a negative cover. That's a negative on the cover.
Wow, negative cover. It's a negative on the cover. But I have to be the title of this one. Wasp number 4. No, I like the cover scheme though. All 4 of them, all the 4 suits. That's kind of cool. Bloodline. No. Scarlet Witch. No. Oh, nice cover. That's a fucking nice one though. The old school Magneto. That's a good cover, man.
That might be worth a buy.
Yeah, that's a nice cover. I don't think I'm sticking with Scarlet Witch though after the first issue, but that was a nice cover. Deadpool number 6. Oh, Mole Man. What? Yeah, he kills it on these. He has a classic comics look to his paint, like classic comic renditions of the classic characters. Like it looks great. That's a good one too, man.
That's a good one.
Yeah, Deadpool 6. That's the.
You're never gonna see freaking Alex
Look
Ross
at
with
this.
these freaking people.
There's some ghost shit going on here. That's kind of funny.
That's good.
That is good. Invisible Iron Man 5. I'm gonna probably continue reading this online. Ooh, M. Frost is in this issue. Okay. Yeah. I'm going to pick up that issue. No, I'm going to read it online at the very least. She-Hulk.
Yeah.
I read this in trade. Occasionally, I read it online. It's a great series. Ooh, nice covers.
Yeah, I'll probably buy that B cover.
Adam Hughes. That's Adam. Oh, that's a odd cover.
There's some great B covers for She-Hulk. Like
wow.
On these covers.
This is a fucking B cover of Adam, or is this the Women of Marvel variant? Well, either way, it looks like it's a regular variant. That's a fucking nice. I think that's her because that doesn't look very Adam Hughes-ish. It sort of does in some places, but in other places, no. That's a nice cover, man. Hulk number 14, the last issue, the Hulk Planet finale. Yes, Titan Unleashed. I'll read this. I'll read this. Whatever. Yeah. Monica Rambeau, no. Moon Girl, no. Thor 33. We still have fucking Torrin Grunbeck writing it. No fucking Kates. What kind of cover is that? I don't know what that is. Good Loki, though.
I might buy a Loki.
Yeah, that's good. Punisher 11. Yes.
Oof.
Yes.
Nice.
Yes. So yes to Thor. Yes to Punisher for us guys. Joe Fixit. No. Moon Knight. No, but I read it in trade. Actually, ooh, look at that Kingpin. Yeah. Yeah. It's a good one.
Maybe.
Yeah. Good covers. Ghost Rider. No. Daredevil. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Good cover too. That is a good cover. Yeah. Predator, no. I think at this point it's all no. Star Wars, Ewoks, Bounty Hunters, Dr. Aphra, Star Wars, Darth Vader. That's it. Okay. So not too much. All right, guys. That's gonna do it for the solicitations for April 2023 of things we are looking forward to checking out. And what we got here? Let me change the name of this. We are reading next week because there's some things we pick up now, guys. There's some things we read online. What we are reading next week. There we go, Chris.
I got access to my phone this time. I can freaking pull it up because I don't have it written down. Let's see, from Marvel for the week of the 25th. Oof. Let's see here. We got Sinister, Spider-Man. Ooh, wow, it's a small week. Spider-Man 18, Thor 30, Exterminators 5. And let's see if we got anything in DC next week. Ooh, Action Comics 1051.
Mm-hmm.
Catwoman 51. I don't know if I'll be getting this DC Horror Presents. I shouldn't, but Harley Quinn 26, loving Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
I'll be reading The Lazarus Planet. I'll get Punchline, Gotham Game 4. Probably be reading Human Target 11.
Yeah.
I want to see how the thing ends up.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it, unless there's some stuff.
Yeah, I got Batman One Bad Day, Catwoman one shot, Harley Quinn 26, Human Target 11, Amazing Spider-Man 18, which I got the homage Stegman cover. Doctor Strange Fall Sunrise number 3, unfortunately. Thor number 30, TMNT Last Ronin, Lost Years number 1, the new Last Ronin Ninja Turtles series. And I got the Sins of Sinister Art Germ Emma Frost variant. Oh, yeah. Yes, that is what I got coming in. It's a fucking hot cover. So yeah, that decent sized week. So yeah, that's what you gotta look forward to hearing us talk about next week. And then a couple weeks after that, but we will review next week. We will see, but it looks like it's gonna be very light. We might have to read something else to talk about it on the show because that will be interesting if that's the case. So it's very, anyways, our favorite book of the week, guys. I don't know.
I think I have mine.
Go ahead if you do, because I may need a minute here.
I might go with Avengers Forever. I did like that fucking the Thor hammers coming down and Old Man Logan being what's his name? Yeah, the Fist of Hammers or the Hammer
Mhm.
God. He had some
Mhm.
funny lines in there too, where he goes, I think, who did he meet? He met like the Captain Marvel. He goes, what do you do? Oh, I jump out of pits. And what do you do? Oh,
Yeah.
I punch my hammer or
Yeah,
something.
yeah. And then she's like, "Yeah, bring some Steve Rogers into the pit and take care of this." Or,
Yeah.
you know what, Chris? I'm gonna agree with you. I'm gonna agree with you. Yeah, we're fucking 2 for 2 the last 2 weeks. Avengers Forever 13, which is a title I don't regularly read, but like I said, guys, this was my favorite issue of the Avengers Assemble crossover between all the books and the end of Jason Aaron's run so far. This is a hell of a lot of fun. I mean, you could tell how the way I talked about it. It was always going to be at the top of my list, but I had to kind of like review what else I talked about here today. But yeah, this was a surprise for me. This was a surprise, this issue. So yeah, Avengers Forever 13 is also my favorite of the week. So there you go. Good issue. And good talk as always. And Chris, thank you for getting
Thanks
together,
for having
man.
me over here in the studio, in the dungeon, whatever you want to call this place.
Always a good time. And guys, we'll see you back here next week for more talk about comics. Thank you for tuning in. And yeah, thanks again. Later, guys.
Cheers.
Later.